offers so many opportunities for photography. In this case, I spent about an hour approximately getting some shots, and I want to share some of these shots with you to show a couple of different, as I say, simple but powerful approaches to work with that mid-morning light. Now, I was walking around shooting these with an iPhone, but I could have easily been walking around with 8 tons of gear, solid tripod, all the various things in my kit bag. Absolutely. Either way, it's about the light. Whether you're casually taking shots or whether you're very formally structuring and setting a shot up, the quality of that light is just fantastic and will enhance both your approaches. So let's get into it. Now, the first type of one that I wanted to point out with the mid morning light, one of the things it offers when the sun is out mid morning, some of the silhouette opportunities you get is really stunning. The light can really lend itself to some beautiful silhouettes. So here's a couple of examples that I captured that morning. In this particular case, obviously it's a water fountain. Look at the water. Look at the way with that light, the silhouette. It's like being lit up. It's beautiful. And this mid-morning light can just be one of the most spectacular times of day to capture this style of shot. Really is very powerful. The way those droplets light up, fantastic. Also, you get the opportunity to work with lens flare. That can be very powerful. It's personal choice. Some people love it. Other people go, oh my goodness, not for me. It's personal choice. But again, look at either way, whether you're working with the lens flare or discarding the lens flare, simply by moving over from the left, depending on whether you're going to it or away from it, but by simply just moving over to one side, there's the lens flare. But again, in either shot, look at those droplets. And again, this is created by that beautiful mid-morning light. Look at the droplets, just almost magical. Love it. So in this case, simply by moving around a bit, I'm still taking advantage of this beautiful quality light. Absolutely stunning quality light, but without the water being so dramatically backlit. But it's still lit. It's still being made luminous. It's still fantastic. Now, we've covered lens flare a little bit, but I wanted to show a couple more examples. So in this case, I literally got like leading lines in the composition, which are the lens flare. Stronger one there. And then here's the point, to illustrate the point about the morning light and it creating lens flare. This is what the shot was like facing the other way, the exact same fence. Nice shot, and the morning light does light it beautifully. But going back to these, look how the textures change by facing into the sun and getting the lens flare. Pretty amazing, isn't it? The difference, just simply by turning around, you get this whole different effect. And again, that's looking the other way, the exact same fence. It is amazing what the light does. Really is quite powerful. Now, another huge aspect of this mid-morning light is textures. Absolutely amazing. You've got the sun out, it's mid-morning, you can find textures. It's like everything, it's like people have lit the walls up and everything. It is just amazing. You'll start to notice textures everywhere in this mid-morning light. The way it brings out architecture is just one aspect of bringing out textures. Brings out the quality in the walls. It highlights with the strong shadows. It highlights the window frames. Extraordinary. And while these photographs can work in different light conditions, this is one light condition that really does bring in another quality to it all and can really spark your images. And again, working with a few different compositions, a few different framings, you get your choices, but the one thing that's constant is this beautiful quality of light. Look at the textures. I mean, wow, the light skimming across the wall really gives it that lift. Imagine that compared to just a flat light, different time of day, where it's in shadow or it's an overcast, heavily overcast day. It's not going to look like this at all. It's going to be a very different photo. One composition thing I point out is that often with these walls and texture, it can be quite nice to just include a little bit of what's just below the wall. It's like adding a seam. Again there, and indeed in the top right-hand side, I've included part of a sign, which adds another element to it. But again, look at the textures. Look at just a couple of leaves on the ground. Look at the light skimming across. Makes all the difference to the shot. And this is to point out the difference in the composition. This is obviously where I filled the frame purely with the texture of the wall. But I do think the ones that work best, that would be my favorite one, where I've included the seam going down, and you've got the different texture again where it goes onto the footpath. By including that extra layer in the composition can really give it a lift. Again, in the same area, but look again, not only we're here with the textures being highlighted so much, but also some interesting shadows adding to it. Got triangle, leading lines, got all sorts of things happening there in composition to capture the eye. But again, the basis, the reason why this works is this beautiful mid-morning light. Absolutely fabulous. And again, the textures and the sharpness, the contrast that it produces, these strong shadows that it produces, can work so effectively. And again, a slightly different composition. I think I prefer the other one. Let's go back to the other one. Yeah, I like that hint of wall on the left leading down the laneway. I think that adds to it. But again, the one thing in common is this beautiful quality of light. Stunning. Strong contrast. Now, we've touched on this already, but you can work with it exclusively if you like. I was debating to myself which one I prefer composition-wise, but this is where just simply working with the contrast in the light. There's so many of these style shots that open up in that beautiful morning quality of light. I mean, this shot is essentially really a picture of a leaf. In many respects, how the eye goes to it. But the shadows, the strong contrast opens up so much. Now, I should point out these pictures have been edited, and I use the term lightly. And essentially, the thing that I've changed is I've increased the contrast fractionally just to bring out the textures even more, but nothing extreme. It was all there in the first place, if you know what I mean. I've just highlighted them slightly more. And if you're interested in that, there's another video. I'll put a link in the description as well, leading to the other YouTube video where I work with contrast in the Windows Photo app to keep it super simple, and that can be very effective. But these shots, working with this quality of contrast light, really opens up some great photographic opportunities. There you have it, and I hope that you've been inspired to get out there with some mid-morning sunny light and find your own shots, but work with some of these core principles if you like. Keep an eye out for the textures, the silhouettes, the strong contrast. Go out there and see what you can notice. Get some shots. And again, whether you're photographing with your mirrorless, your DSLR, your mobile phone, your cell phone, either way, just enjoy your photography. Enjoy this quality of light that's available mid-morning when it's a sunny day. Absolutely. the world of possibilities open up. This is one of those magical times of day. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you find it that inspires you to go out and get some photos of your own. Do subscribe to the channel, and I'll put a link in the description for free download for the 5 ways to improve your photography, and I'll also put a link to the other YouTube video about the using contrast to give your photographs a lift in the Windows Photos app. Okay, have fun. See you in the next video.